Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to the Brilliance Business Show. Conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler, and today we have a wonderful guest, Carol Vincie. Carol is the performance co-pilot, and our topic today is accelerate growth. Carol, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Mark, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be joining you at this time.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Carol. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Carol is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Carol, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yes, I'd be happy to. I probably have more time as an entrepreneur than I have had in my corporate career because I started very early. I started my first business when I was 16, teaching piano lessons to small children so that I could pay for my own college education.
That's incredible. And I used to have piano lessons when I was younger, Carol. I bet you could learn me a few things. And tell us a little bit about what you do now, Carol.
Well, I work with business owners who are in both startups and want to accelerate their growth. My particular passion is raising the amount of money that is invested in women-run business by either angel or venture capital investors.
Well, these are really, really important skills that people need, Carol, to go that extra level. And you have experience to really support them. And it's a real challenge when you don't know how to do things. So having the support of a mentor like yourself to get those investments, it can really help you to grow and scale. Who are your customers, Carol? What clients do you serve?
Well, I'm actually looking for companies that have decided that they are really committed to changing the world and making an impact. And I worked in the venture capital arena when I left my corporate job. So I have about 6 years of experience, both building teams that would be attractive to outside investors, and also making the connections with organizations that focus, particularly at this point, on investing in women-run businesses.
Got you. And I would like to know, Carol, do you recall a specific aha moment that led to the launch of your business?
Well, I left my corporate job quite unexpectedly. I am a visionary and anticipated the growth of client-server computing, the stuff that now has led to the power that we carry in our pockets and our cell phones being more than what fit in a room. And the first time I worked in the IT field, and I was ahead of the current thinking in the company I worked for, so I knew I was right, and they didn't want to hear. So I departed, and I stumbled into the field that really excites me. I love the fast-paced, high-growth arena. And I say I want to be able to run, or I want to be able to have to run to keep up with my clients as they grow, rather than trying to drag clients across the finish line. So that's the type of business I'm looking to work with.
I love that. I love your Your drive, Carol, you really have got that drive, and that will take you really far and the clients even further. And I like listening to your ha-ha moment as well, because it's normally through challenges and walking out of places and not wanting to do things that really take us on to follow our vision. So I enjoyed hearing your ha-ha moment. What really motivates you to jump out of bed every single morning?
Well, I just love having people discover their aha moments and having them understand that what they are maybe currently doing is not really what excites them. I had a particular client recently who teaches and is very good at it, but that was not what her passion was. And she was able to create a business in the middle of the pandemic that everybody is, walking around saying, woe is me, the world is ending. And this particular client, with some nudging on my part, I will admit, launched a business that is thriving, getting paying clients and opening fields for her that she never even anticipated when she took the first couple of hesitant steps.
And that's just a great example of how we should focus on the positives and not focus on the negatives. And even in negative situations, we can still create positive outcomes. Now, Carol, what would you say sets your business apart, and what unique need are you filling for your clients?
What I try to encourage people to do is to have multiple streams of income. Again, I don't want to focus on the pandemic, but many people who had brick and mortar stores had to close, and many, unfortunately, are out of business. So when you look at what you can offer, if you create multiple streams of income, you then have a way to transition or pivot, a word that some people don't like at the moment, to focus on what opportunities present you as the economic or political or your interests change. And some of the things that I do, we've spoken about venture capital. I work with team analysis to make sure that you have the right people on your staff. I encourage people to form joint ventures. I have written a couple of books and a publication, so I get revenue from those. And then I do coaching for clients.
Yes, great points there. Multiple income streams. I myself have built quite a few income streams. That's really, really important. But joint venture and collaboration is so, so vital for us to get to those next levels as well. And why do you feel your service is especially important in today's modern world?
I'm known for my unique solutions. I don't have a cookie cutter solution to every client. You're not going to find me with 20-year-old pages that are tattered, pitching the same thing I did when I first left my corporate job. Everything that I do, I listen very carefully to the desires and requirements of my clients and come up with very different, as I say, unique solutions for them that specifically focuses on their gifts, talents, and magic to create a business that they don't have to worry about how many other people are doing it, because they're bringing their particular perspective to the situation, which makes them competitive regardless of how many other people might be outwardly offering the same service.
And could you share just a few more detail of the kinds of services and products that you offer?
Well, I'm launching a program shortly that is called Create Conscious Habits for Impact, that really gets people to focus on what's critical and not get buried in all the minutia, that helps them identify what tasks they can barter with a neighbor for because it's not something they enjoy, that helps them with their first hire, whether it be a virtual assistant or a part-time employee, so that they're outsourcing the activities that they are not great at. We don't have time in today's fast-paced business environment to learn everything. And a lot of people, and I would say particularly women, have this sense that they have to do it all. The expression that one of the famous authors came up with, you can have it all, but not all at once. And I really assist people come to terms with pick what you are great at, what comes easily to you, and pay, barter, or stop doing everything else.
Outsourcing is a golden nugget, and pick what you are good at is another golden nugget there. Now, I know you have all sorts of client success stories. I would like you to just pick one that really stands out in your mind.
Well, when I first got into the venture capital arena, I was introduced to a client, and the 5 people that they had on board were not going to attract a nickel worth of investments. So I took on the role of HR manager, not something that I ever did in my corporate life, other than the fact that the job that I had, we hired locally for the staff we needed because we knew the clients. But I was able to hire 41 people in 90 calendar days using my hiring process. The last person I hired was an HR person to be my replacement. And then I went on to do the job I was actually brought into the organization for, and that was I raised $15 million from an outside investor for the company.
That is an absolutely brilliant success story, Carol, and to get those many team members in such a short space of time and increase the revenue, that is just absolutely incredible. Now, my next question, I was involved in a project with you. You were a co-author, I'm a co-author of The Law of Brand Attraction 2. Dr. John DeMartini is the forward. Sammy Blindell is the mind and visionary behind the project. And there's around 27 other amazing co-authors. It's gone on to be bestseller in so many different countries, which is also incredible. Can you just share a little bit about your chapter in this book?
I talk about, and the title is, Isn't It About Time You Make Your Impact? And that focuses on what we've been speaking about throughout the discussion, that helping people find their lane, find what they're great at. And I talk about a couple of people in my chapter who started from nothing, because a lot of people say, well, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You had all these opportunities, your dad paid for everything. And I wanted to point out that many famous people start with absolutely nothing. And the people that I will highlight is Oprah Winfrey, the media queen, right? I mean, she was a Black ghetto person, right? With absolutely nothing to her name.
Terrible childhood as well.
A terrible abusive childhood. Harold Schultz, the guy who started Starbucks, he was turned down 217 times when he tried to find investors to support the growth of his coffee shops. And yet he kept going. And one of the marvelous things about not abandoning your background, his father worked for an organization that when he was injured provided absolutely no benefits, and the family really struggled. And that's why if you work for Starbucks, even as a part-time barista, you get full health care, you get tuition reimbursement. He's going out of his way to hire either veterans or spouses of veterans here in the US. I don't know how he's doing it in the rest of the world. But because of his experience of watching his family struggle, when the company his dad worked for said, sorry, you can't work, we don't know you. And then the last one is J.K. Rowling's of Harry Potter fame.
Yes.
I mean, not only has she spurred every youngster in the world to read again, which if you're a parent, you thought that was never going to happen. But her editor at one point in time suggested she get a day job. And I point out how unfortunate would the world be if any of those three people, and there are many more, but I just highlighted those three, did not take the risk. So that's why I use that to encourage everyone who's thinking about stepping out of their comfort zone, walking away from the comfy job that their families have become used to, either because of the income or the status, and stepping out to do something that will change the world, because each and every one of us has that in our soul. And I'm hoping to be able to uncover that in as many people as possible.
Great, great words. I would encourage everyone, firstly, never give up. I would encourage everyone to go out and grab a copy of The Law of Brand Attraction 2. You will learn great skills from Carol, and there'll definitely be other co-authors that you can take value from as well. And with Dr. John D. Martini's amazing contribution as well, go to thelawofbrandattraction.com. Carol, you really have inspired me, and you've said so many golden nuggets today, and I have no doubt that you will impact many, 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 many individuals to go out and make an impact. Thank you so much for being on the Brilliance Business Show. My last question, can you share with our audience how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. My website is www.impactcopilot.
Perfect. So is that
www.impactcopilot.com.
Can you just say that one more time for us?
www.impactcopilot, no dash in the between co and pilot.com.
www.impactcopilot.com. Carol, thank you so much for being my guest today. I've really enjoyed a conversation with you.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure. And I've really enjoyed listening to the other recordings that you've done with other business people.
I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you once again. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in...
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.